If you're a small business owner and you don't want to spend the big bucks on a graphic design company to help brand your business, then you're going to want to watch this video. I've got a few tips for you. Small business owners are often spending hundreds upon hundreds of dollars, thousands upon thousands of dollars on all the little things they need to make their business run. And the last thing that they want to do is to spend thousands of dollars on a graphic design company to build a logo and a branding kit for them. But they still want the look and the feel of a cohesive brand. And I'm going to teach you how to use a free tool called Canva to brand your business. Canva is a free online graphic design tool with a lot of built-in templates that help you kind of DIY some of the branding of your business. There's also an app for your phone so you can build graphics and use your branding products on the fly. Canva has a few different options. Most people use the free option because they get a lot and they don't have to pay for it. They do have a few different subscription levels, the first being Canva for Work. Canva for Work allows you to set your brand colors, upload your logo, even upload a branded font if you need one. They do have a list in a bunch of their own fonts, but if you want something a little bit different, you can purchase your own font and upload it to Canva so that you can use it in there. Canva for Work is usually about $10 to $15 per month, depending on what country that you're living in. And what it does is allow you to set your brand colors, upload your logo, even upload a branded font if you want something super specific and not in their regular list of fonts. This is really helpful when you want to create different kinds of graphics and have a consistent flow across all of them. One of the amazing tools that I absolutely love in Canva for Work is going to be an automatic resize option. This means that if you are building a graphic for, Twitter or Facebook, you can actually click automatic resize and then it will copy the same thing into a different platform's like a sizing. So if you want like a poster or a Twitter header or a Facebook header, you can build one Facebook header and then do their automatic resize to build your Twitter header or your YouTube header. And it just saves you a little bit of time, and so that's where it's worth the money for me. But I'm going to show you how you can use Canva to create your logo and then implement it across all the different branding templates. So let's go have a look. And so when I'm talking branding here, I'm talking about the visual branding. And the fact is that branding is so much more than visual branding and logos and things like that. It's about values, really, is actually what it comes down to. So I wanted to change my logo and to really sort of, be easy to recognize, easy to look at. And so this is the new logo here. And I did this all on Canva. And the reason why I decided to go with Canva instead of like a graphic designer is because of money. Honestly, that's the absolute truth. I'm a small business owner. I'm the only one in my business. And so there is a max of what I can spend on certain things, and budget just wasn't going to allow for a graphic designer. However, if you want to know the absolute truth, graphic designers are worth the money. If you have the budget to spend on a graphic designer, I absolutely would. You'll get a much more fleshed out logo than like what I'm coming up with here. This is fun and simple and I like it. But if I had hired a graphic designer, I'm sure they would have come up with something much more interesting and unique. So that's the preface to this video. So I want you to understand that I think graphic designers are still probably the way to go if you've got the budget. If you don't, however, this is where I wanted to help you because I find that a lot of businesses kind of come into the same issue, is that they don't have the budget for a graphic designer, or if they do, they don't even know like what they should be looking for. So when it comes to visual branding, this is where Canva can be a really great and cost-effective tool for small business owners. Most of you probably have already heard of Canva, to be honest, because it is popular. It is really popular. It's probably one of the most user-friendly, cheap and easy digital branding or media sites. Honestly, there are a few others out there. PicMonkey was really popular a while back. I find that Canva is a lot more user-friendly. So let's dive in. Let's have a look. One of the things about Canva is that you can really, it says design anything, and like it kind of means it. One of my favorite features is that they already have like templates and like if you want to make like a Facebook post or a Facebook cover, like you don't have to go and like research how many pixels it is by how many pixels and do that. They already have like the templates here. So let's say I wanted to go do a logo, right? So I'm going to create a logo here for you. I'm going to show you some of the ones that I created when I was when I was trying to figure out what my new logo was going to be. So I'll just show you. So this is a square icon that I created and that I finally settled on. It's made up of a few pieces. Why I like this is because if you go to my website, it's easy just to like drop in a few places, and in my favicon here, it's really nice. However, you are going to need probably a few versions of your logo, and I'll show you some of the ones that I've made and then the ones that I settled on. As soon as like my tiny wheel of death decides to stop spinning. So I will show you how I made this in Canva. It's made up of a few pieces. So, and I'll show you what I did to make it kind of all work together. So I just had to exit out of a few of my things because my computer doesn't seem to like videoing my screen and going on the internet at the same time. So if you wanted something just like a little bit more generic, these templates are a really good way to go. They're easy to change the colors or the fonts to be something that like would fit with your business, and they've got a lot of options. So like, look, they've got something specifically for DJs or cafes or restaurants, and you can kind of go in and then change a few things and add your own icons, add your own fonts, like, and it makes it really, really easy. If you want something like simple for like an attorney or law logo there, this is a really great option where you're not sort of having to be quite as like iconic maybe as like an automotive logo or something where you're going to have like a more straightforward icon. So let's just go up and see like their art design logos just because I want to see what they have here. Like, this would be great for like a bakery or, like this is a really nice simple logo. They've got something where, you can even change this icon to other things. So let's just actually pick something. Let's go back here. I kind of like this one. So this looks like it's meant to be for like a design office. They're called Field Designs, and they've got this like cool icon of a tree here. So let's say they wanted the different colors. Maybe they wanted a white background. Here, so let's change this to a white background, right? So you can't see some of the words and stuff, but they're still there. And so let's just change this. So let's say here. So one of the great things that they have too is that you can identify your brand colors. So you go into Canva, and if you go into Brand Kit, you can create your color palette here. So this was a feature that I think that I initially started with Canva Pro, and I had signed on to them at one point, and I'm no longer with Canva Pro just at the moment because I don't need it right now, and I kind of just go month to month as needed, so I'm not paying for it when I don't need it. But I identified what my brand colors were, and now, so when I go here, I can like change this to my branding. I can go like, oh, okay, I want it to be like black, right? Elements here. Okay, so I want black. And so let's say I want this color to be gray. And I don't know, what's this color? Let's go pink. And so like that's for the outer circle, right? So I don't actually want that. I want that to be white. And then if you click on this guy, let's say I want him to be pink. You can just keep it all like within your brand colors. Oh, so they've got a few different elements here. I wouldn't actually like use this logo, it looks terrible, but you can see how you can just change these to your brand colors and make it look better. So that's what I like about like the brand colors. And then if you did want to have like upgrade to Canva Pro and there, that looks a little bit nicer. So let's say you wanted to upgrade to Canva Pro and identify your brand colors and do exactly what I did, you can do that, and then you've got it all locked away and saved for you. But then you're not paying every month, which is fine. So sometimes that's what I do. But let's say you want a different icon. You go here, you want to delete this tree thing. So you go to Elements. They've got this thing here, this little menu bar down here, and they've got stock photography now. They actually acquired, I think, Pexels or Unsplash or one of the free stock photography sites. And so now they actually have their own stock photography here, and so you can search for stock photography if you're doing social media posts, blog posts, anything like that, and you need stock photography. You can use Canva for stock photography, and it's free, and it's like not terrible. Like it's not like really shitty stock photography anymore, which is my favorite thing ever because I hate shitty stock photography. But let's say we want a different icon here. So you can, when you go to Elements, they've got a bunch of different things. Like let's say you want to do a grid, chart, frame, shapes. Let's say a line. And so here they've got icons. You've got illustrations there too. So icons are great because one of the things that they do is they make it kind of like one or two colors that you can customize based on your own brand colors, which is really, really nice. So some of the stuff you'll see is like Pro that you have to pay for, or it's Premium, which like you always have to pay money for. So Pro means it's included in your subscription, and Premium means that you have to pay for it. They're usually only like $1 or so, so it makes it really cheap and easy. Let's say we're a school and we want to use this like head design, and we want it to be, what's a funky color? What's a school color? Green's like an educational color, right? And so there, they've got this like cool head. You can scale it, put it on the in the circle, and then this is your icon. It's not great, like I'm not going to say that this is a super one, but it does help you kind of like come up with that. So if you don't know what you want for a logo, my very best suggestion is honestly going to Pinterest. Pinterest has a lot of really great logo ideas. You just kind of have to search them, and then you can pick the ones that work for you. So let's do logo ideas. Not now, Pinterest. I'm busy. Okay. Sorry, it didn't want to accept that. So, logo ideas. Okay. So, if you look here, like something like this is sort of kind of what I already have on mine. It's similar to the one that I have, and this would be really easy to recreate. So, I wouldn't try and like go for something like super complicated for your logo for a few reasons. One is that you want it to be like simple enough that people can see it and like recognize it kind of from far away. But like if you wanted to do something like this, I'm not sure Canva would be a great tool. I actually think you could do something like this in Canva, but it would take a little bit more time and effort, and you probably have to have a little bit of graphic design acumen to make it happen. Same with something like this, just because this is going to be this piece here, this flower is going to be so customized based on like the circle, it might be difficult. And unlike some of the Adobe products, they don't do well with like doing letters on a curvature. You're kind of having to do it by hand, and that can be a pain in the butt. But like you can just take a scroll here and sort of like get an idea of the kinds of things that you like for a logo. So something like this, I actually came up with one of these for my logo when I was going through it. So I'm going to show you some of the logos that I actually designed on Canva when I was sort of figuring out what I wanted my new logo to look like. So as you can see, this one is like kind of similar to that one. I did just like my initials and I did media behind it. This one was a pretty easy one to do, but it does kind of have like a nice impact. So you just have to break down the elements of what you need. For here, this one you need 2 like bold serif fonts, which Canva absolutely has, and then like a simpler non-serif font there. So you're really just breaking it down. With me here, because they don't do like blank space very well, you do have to have this like white bar here, and that can be like a real pain in the ass, because then if you go to like your website and you're trying to post it, you're going to see that white bar. And so if you're posting that white bar against like a pink background, you're going to see a white bar on a pink background instead of like this being a background. It's going to be like a white bar, which looks terrible. So there are ways of doing this. If you just have to go to one of the, you can just Google like free background remover, and then you just go in and play around with that, and it'll take out your white background, which is you know, it's fine. It's not as easy as necessarily like Adobe or something like that, but it is possible to do. And so if you have questions on how to do that, just send me a message. Maybe that'll be a next video. So just comment below if you want me to show you some of the free background tools to removing backgrounds, and I'll do a video on that. So, you know, like you just kind of go through here and you're just really like picking the ones that you are like most interested in. So I'll just show you some of the other ones that I've done here. So I did like this one. So this is the logo that I've decided to kind of go with, but this is sort of an alternate logo that I've got going on for horizontal. Like sometimes you just like spacing means that you need something different. I always do like a black and white version, so, and then PNG it so that I always have like kind of whatever I need based on whatever background. But like this is another option that I did. This is something a little bit more simpler. What I didn't like on this one was just that like my name has too many letters. It's not even, and so it just didn't feel balanced to me. But otherwise it was like a nice like basis for a logo. I really liked this one too. It was a strong contender. This one sort of feels like the Miami Vice version of my logo. And you know, I did this one by basically like taking one of their circles. So if you go into like elements here, you can get shapes, right? And they're just really basic shapes. And what the shapes are is just like a circle, right? So something like that for a circle is I just did a circle and then I lined up the letters. And this is where it kind of like sucks a little bit to be in Canva as opposed to like one of the Photoshop products, is that you have to, you know, place the letters manually. So I was able to do that. We had a lot of tweaking, but in the end, I think it looked okay, but just it wasn't one of my favorite ones, so I didn't end up going with it. So in the long run, I had something like 7 or 8 different logos, and I only did mock-ups of about like the top like 4 or 5 of them. So that's what you're sort of seeing here. And in the end, I chose to go with these two. They just felt like the most like me. So, you know, but the elements behind them are like really not that complicated. So let's dive into this logo. So when you look at all of the elements in here, the first element that you have, so I'm just going to take, I have to figure out where this is. So this right here, I picked my fonts, right? So that's kind of like one thing. This font is actually a custom font that I uploaded to Canva. And that's one of the great things is that they come with a ton of different fonts here. Like they give you all of these different fonts, but if there's something that you want that's specific, like you can go purchase a font off of like Creative Market or from a designer or something that's like more of a custom font. And actually in their pro subscription, you can upload that font and start using it here on Canva, whereas like other people can't use it, so that's just like your font. So I ended up choosing, this is a custom font called Ragel, and then I ended up going, this is actually one of my favorite fonts. Actually, where are you? It's Glacial Indifference, which I sort of feel like is also just like very me. And so I've got these different pieces. So what I actually did here is for this bottom square piece, I actually went into Elements and picked their hollow square out of their shapes. So that's something that like you can get, which is really nice because the framing then can be like the middle can be blank. And so if I just wanted a square instead of this break here, I could have just like, basically where I started is I put in a square, and then this one's a bit thick. So what you can do is like you can go in, make it smaller, and then drag it out, and so that the line itself is thinner. So that's what I ended up doing. And then I went in and I just took like a line. If you go into Elements, you can just go like line and search it, which is really nice. I just took a line and then I traced the elements that I wanted on here as far down as I wanted them to go, and then I grouped them. So that's something, so if I go here, so I've got a line. Let's make it like, in order for us to see it well, we're going to make it like bright red. So like basically I just went up to this line, and again I had to make it like, I made it smaller so I could make it thinner. So I went up to this line, I like dragged it over it, and then I got another line, also make it red, and then I flipped it, so 90 degrees. And I'm not doing this perfectly just because for time and you don't want to see this, but you'll, fuss with this. And I like matched it to the level there. And then what I'm able to do with these two lines, once they're matched perfectly, is basically you shift, collect them together, and you put group. So that anytime you're moving it as a collective. So if we get rid of this big square, oh, I don't undo. So if we get rid of like this gray square, and then this red line, you can see that this piece down here, this piece is a grouping. And I can ungroup and then they're 3 separate lines, or I can keep it together and that's what it looks like. So, so that's what I have, so I didn't end up having like a big white box. What you can also do is keep the square there, throw in your logo and your title, your business name. And then what you can do is just go to like something like, I think background remover it's called. You just Google background remover and it'll take away all the white, and then you won't have this here and you'll save it as a PNG file. So that's just kind of how I made my logo. So one of the great things about this too is that the pro version, and this is when you're doing your initial branding, it comes with all of these different things, and one of them is the magic resize option. And what's great about the magic resize option is, so like if you need, if you're doing like a graphic and then you want to like let's say you're doing a Facebook cover and you're doing it and you want it to match exactly and you want to make it a Twitter cover, you can use this magic resize button, which is really nice. So I would recommend when you're first starting to get the pro version. It's something like $13 or something like that for the first month, and you can get all of your initial branding done kind of all at once, and then you've got some of the things so that if you need something that's like your custom brand colors or like your fonts or something like that, you can get that kind of all lined up. So when you're doing initial branding, like this is how I did my logo. Then I did my sub logo. I did a few different logos, picked my favorite, got them all set up. And then you've got some different options. Like in their pro versions, they've got animation options, which if you, I'll show you, I downloaded mine. And so I'll show you what they look like. So what it means is when you get your file here, you can sort of make it become a little bit animated, which means that you can, which is kind of useful for like certain things in like video, let's say. So let's say I'm going to go to my square font, white, and then they give you all of these different options, and I can sort of just show you what that looks like. All right, let's go black. We don't want white, it'll be hard to see. So let's look here. What does this look like? This is just a little animated piece where it's showing you like that's basically all it does. But if you wanted, and here's another one. It's just like zooming in, but it's just kind of nice for like a video or for the end of like an IGTV or something like that. You can have something like this and it adds just a little bit of like dimension to your logo. So like this is something that they've got, right? This is all available in the pro version, but I thought it was kind of nice. I really like this one. I'll show it again. Yeah, so I really like this one because it's great. It's something that I can do at the beginning or ends of like my IGTVs or something, just to make it look really branded and clean, and it didn't really cost me anything extra. Like I didn't have to get it done by someone, I didn't have to pay, I didn't have to spend the time making like a GIF or anything like that. It's just an animation piece that they've got in there, which is really nice. So like, it's worth kind of looking at some of their options here because they've got really great things. I've done full PowerPoint presentations in here because they've got your templates all set up, and they're way better than the Microsoft versions. They're so much prettier, and it's all ready and done for you. So this is like, it's really nice to make use of their templates and then go in and customize them to your business. So like this is a presentation that I did in the past, and I just sort of populated it with my own stock photography or things that I've done in the past and just my own brand colors, and so it looked like a really nice presentation, really. So what I suggest doing is coming over to Canva, make your logo, pick your brand colors, and then just like start utilizing their templates. If you need like a Facebook cover, it's really easy to go in and just customize their template so that you don't have to spend so much time and money and effort, really. Finding something beautiful and cohesive, right? You can go in and like pick your own and add the things that you want and change the colors and change the photography and change the fonts in order to customize it. And really, when you start with something like this, when you add all of those elements to change it to your business, it's going to look completely different, but it's still going to have a really nice cohesive look. What it does is really just make you consider and think about all the different elements that go into something like this. And so you have to replace them with your own, or else it doesn't look right. Like, you don't want to be a real estate company with makeup brushes in the background. So it makes you consider that and change it. And then at the end, you've got a really nice like Facebook cover. And then you can just do the automatic resize, change it to for Twitter, YouTube, whatever else that you're doing, and so that it all looks branded and cohesive, and that your users have a very consistent experience. So that's pretty much my tutorial for Canva. I know this was kind of a long one, but I really wanted you to see like all of the different options here. And you know, it's going to take you a little bit more time, and especially if you are not like design oriented, it's going to take you a little bit more time to figure it all out and play with it, but you're going to save a lot of money than if you had it done by someone else. I still recommend a graphic designer if it can fit your budget, but if it doesn't, this is a really nice low-cost option. So I hope this was helpful. I'm sure most of you actually already use Canva, so just post in the comments. Tell me, what are you guys using it for? What is like Canva? What's the thing that you use Canva the most for? I'd love to know so that I can maybe do a tutorial or another video on that. I really hope you like this video and you're able to use Canva for your business. If you've used Canva in the past, or if you're just starting, put it in the comments and let me know. I'd love to see the kinds of things that you're using Canva for. So I hope you really like this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.